Hey, what's up guys? It's Victor here from Cyborg for Life. Now, I know back when I was getting my leg lengthening surgery done, a major concern of mine and my doctor was my flexibility. You know, because I was involved in bodybuilding at the time, I had a lot of muscle mass in my legs, I wasn't too consistent with my stretching, and you always want to have a good distraction phase and get your full height without any type of problem. But being so tight and stiff, I was a bit worried about that. And the most common complication you can get with limb lengthening surgery is a loss of range of motion. So today I want to go over the best stretches that I recommend you do at least 5 times a week for 2 to 3 months before your limb lengthening surgery, okay? And another thing I want to mention is that, you know, your typical static stretch and hold is not going to be the best form, okay? There's a better form of stretching called PNF, or Proprioceptive Neuromuscular Facilitation. Basically, this type of stretching allows you to stretch deeper and further than you could with a normal type of stretching, okay? And then one more thing is that the most important muscles to stretch are going to be the ones on the back side of your body, your glutes, your hamstrings, and your calves. Although, just do yourself a favor and stretch everything. Your hip flexors, your quads, your IT band, your abductors, your adductors, tibialis anterior, everything, because you want to be all limber and loose before you get your distraction, okay? All right, so let's get to it. All right guys, so the first thing you want to do is make sure you're warmed up before you start stretching, because, you know, a warm muscle stretches better than a cold muscle. In fact, if you're cold, you can actually hurt yourself. So make sure you're warmed up before you start stretching. Usually I like to hop onto the stationary bike and just go ahead and pedal for about 5 minutes on a decent, moderate resistance. You can use treadmill, you can use, run outside, whatever you want to do, jumping jacks, but just get some blood into the muscle and then start stretching. All right guys, so for the hamstrings, what you want to do is find a bench or some sort of couch or platform or even a chair that's slightly below your hips. And all I do is just go ahead and put my heel on the edge there. And you want to just go ahead and do a normal stretch at first to start, till you feel your hamstring get nice and tight and you feel some tension back here, okay? Stop there and just hold it for about 10 or 12 seconds, okay? Then I want you to come back up to the start. Then you're gonna push your heel down and contract your hamstring, get it nice and tight like you're working your muscle. Hold that for 10 or 12 seconds, okay? That's gonna activate the contract part of the PNF stretch. Then you're gonna go ahead and relax. Nice deep breath. And then we're going for a deep stretch. We're gonna be able to go further than we did at first. So go ahead and breathe out as you stretch to your foot. You're gonna notice that you're able to go further, okay, because of that contract that we did, all right? You're gonna hold this for 30 seconds. This is the real stretch, okay, because we're going further to increase our range of motion here, okay? So you wanna hold this 30 seconds, then you come back up, take a little break for about 20 seconds or so. That's one set. You'll do that about 3 or 4 more times. And then you'll do the other leg, okay? And then move on to your next muscle group. You want to do this to increase the range of motion, especially in the hamstrings, especially if you're doing your femurs, okay? All right guys, so for the quads, the front of your thigh, okay, what you want to do is basically, hold on something like a sturdy post or something, grab your foot from behind you, okay? Make sure that your femur or your leg, your thigh, is not kind of, lunging forward like this. Make sure it's either perfectly lined up with your body or slightly behind, because it's going to stretch your hip flexors out as well, okay? From here, what you want to do is go ahead and stretch as far as you can till you feel some nice tension in your quad. Again, I have some pretty good range here, but if you don't, just stretch until you feel that tension. Then I want you to go ahead and push your foot down against your hand, okay? That's that contraction part. Push down and hold for about 10 seconds, okay? Like you're kicking out, doing a leg extension. All right, that's the contract part. Hold that for 10, and then after that, relax. All right, so here comes the big stretch. Deep breath, and then go ahead and pull up as high as you can. Again, making sure that that front of your thigh is lined up with your body or slightly behind, so you can stretch out the hip flexor and the rectus femoris and all the other quad muscle, okay? Go ahead and stretch that out. Hold that for 30 seconds, okay? And then relax. After you're done that, you're gonna wait about 20 seconds and then do it again, and again, up to about 3 or 4 sets. Switch legs, next muscle group. All right guys, so for the glutes, AKA your butt, what you wanna do is basically, there's 2 types of stretches you wanna do here. One is gonna be just a normal lunging stretch where I just kind of put my heel or my foot on the bench or whatever you're using, the chair, and just go ahead and lunge forward, okay, to get a deep stretch, okay? And again, once you get to the point where you feel like a lot of tension, just stop there and just hold it. You're gonna come up and relax. and then I want you to go ahead and push down, okay? Like you're trying to stomp that bench or that chair into the floor or push yourself up. And that's gonna contract the glute. Do that for 10 seconds, that's the contract part, okay? Then I want you to go ahead and take the deep breath, and then go ahead and breathe out as you go ahead and lunge into a deeper stretch, okay? That's gonna get the glute nice and loose, okay? And get nice range of motion in that glute muscle, okay? That's stretch number one. Stretch number two for the glutes is I call it the pigeon stretch, or you've heard people call all kinds of different stretches. Basically, you wanna kind of do like a cross, okay? It's like half of a sitting like Indian style. So what you wanna do, just kind of put your one leg is gonna be kind of perpendicular to your body, okay? And then you're just gonna go ahead and drop into it, all right? Again, I feel some tension right now, so I'm stopping. Then I'm gonna come up, and I'm gonna try to kind of push my leg against the bench, pushing my foot down against the bench to get that contraction, all right? Then deep breath, exhale. Now I'm able to go deeper, okay? And again, this is increasing range of motion, flexibility in that outer hip, AKA abductor and glute, okay? That's just gonna help you get more range of motion and all those outer muscles there. All right guys, so the next one is gonna be a stretch for the inner thigh or the adductor muscle, okay? So what you wanna do is get down in a kneeling position, kind of get on your hands and knees, okay? Then what you're gonna do is just kind of extend one leg out to the side here. And again, I'm not very flexible, so I can already feel the tension on my inner thigh here, but I'll go a little bit further, stretch and hold it for about 10 or 15 seconds. All right, then I'm gonna come out of the stretch and just relax. Now I'm gonna go ahead and push that foot down and contract it, feeling that tension as if I'm trying to work that inner thigh muscle, pushing it down against the floor, the foot against the floor. Hold that for about 10 or 12 seconds, relax. Now comes the deep breath. And then I'm gonna go ahead and stretch, you know, a little bit further than before, really feeling a deeper stretch in that adductor muscle, okay? Again, we're gonna hold this for about 30 seconds, then you can come in, relax, and then do it again for about 2 or 3 more times, and then do the other side of your legs, okay, for this side. All right guys, so the next one is gonna be for the outer hip, AKA the IT band, okay? For you guys who are getting the femurs done, a lot of the doctors who are doing the internal nail method is gonna do something called an IT band release, which basically they kind of loosen it up and allows your femur to distract and get more length without any type of tracking or resistance. Well, if you stretch out your IT band, you may not even need to do that, but let's go ahead and see what happens. So, what you're gonna do, you're gonna lay down on the side here. Usually, I just lay down, top leg over here, go ahead and let it kind of hang off the side of the bench, okay? Usually you can kind of feel, if again, I'm not really flexible, I can kind of feel some tension already in the outer hip here, okay? And basically that is going to be where I want to stop. I hold that for about 10 or 15 seconds, then I'm gonna do the contraction part where I go ahead and lift up, just lift up in the air because you can usually get some contraction. You feel some tension. Again, not super flexible, so I'm not going super high. I feel it right there. Hold 10 or 15 seconds, okay? Then I'm ready for the deep breath. And then go ahead and exhale as I go down deeper, okay? Now I can feel a little bit more tension here. Hold that for 20 to 30 seconds. And then again, up, contract, and then keep doing that, okay? All right guys, so here's my favorite hip flexor stretch, okay? Because this is going to be important so that you don't get too tight in here. So what I want to do is basically just kind of take a lunging position, okay? 90-degree angle bend in my left leg, 90-degree angle bend in my right leg, kneeling down, okay? So foot flat on the front leg, knee down on the back leg. What I want to do from here is go ahead and drop my hip forward. I can already feel a stretch here, okay? All right, right in that front portion of my right leg that's back. I can feel it stretch. Again, hold that 10 or 15 seconds, okay? Come back to the starting position, relax for a second. Then we're gonna go ahead and kneel, or kind of push my knee into the ground and contract, okay? Hold that for 10 or 15 seconds, really push it down, feel it get tight and tension, almost like you're lifting your knee against the ground, okay? And then relax. Now deep breath, and then go deeper, okay? Again, this works really, really well. This PNF stretching, this is what I use for bodybuilding, and it's what I use for before my leg lengthening surgery and as well as after to get back quicker, okay, to increase that range of motion. Again, this works really, really well for the hip flexors. And if you wanted an added advanced technique here, you can go ahead and put your arms straight up in the air. That'll put more tension on that hip flexor, okay? After you're done doing that for a few sets, you're gonna obviously switch legs, just like this, left leg back, and then do the same thing, okay? That's for the hip flexor, and that's gonna wrap up the muscles for the femur, okay? So we went through the hamstrings, the quads, the glutes, the adductors, the abductors, the IT band, and now the hip flexors. All right, so time to move to the tibia muscles. Okay guys, so we're gonna go over the stretches that you need to do if you're getting tibia lengthening done, okay? So the muscles we're gonna be stretching are the calf muscles on the back side of your lower leg. There's two muscles back there. You have the gastrocnemius and the soleus. We're gonna do the seated version, so that's gonna stretch the soleus, which is basically the muscles that you kind of see here. It lies underneath the gastrocnemius. But to do that, we're gonna go ahead and have a dumbbell, a big dumbbell on the floor, okay? And if it's not the flat hexagon dumbbells, just go ahead and put your foot on the middle of the handle of the dumbbell, okay? Then get another dumbbell, and you're just gonna go ahead and put it on top of right above your kneecap, okay? Right on your quad, on top of your kneecap. And you're just gonna go ahead and let your heel stretch down. If your heel touches the floor, try to find a higher elevation of something, okay? Like maybe like a step board or something in your gym, or you know, kind of like a footstool or something like that in your house. Or you can just go onto the higher part of the hexagon dumbbell if you have that, okay? So just go ahead and let your heel stretch down. Again, just trying to feel that stretch. I can kind of feel a little bit of a stretch there. Again, I really work my calf flexibility up, so I do have pretty good flexibility there. That's the dorsiflexion, okay? So from here, okay, I let that hold there for about 15 seconds. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and push up against the dumbbell, hold that for 10 or 12 seconds. That's the contraction portion, okay? And then after that, deep breath. And then exhale as you lower down into a really deep stretch, okay? And that is gonna let you go deeper and really stretch out that soleus muscle. But there's an added benefit to doing this because you're also stretching out that Achilles tendon, which is a big proponent in tibia lengthening, okay? So let that hold there for 30 seconds and then you just go ahead and relax. Okay guys, so now it's time to stretch out the gastrocnemius, which is basically a really important muscle for tibia lengthening, okay? This one is one that really gets tight and taut because this muscle crosses the knee joint. So if you're doing tibia lengthening, it's gonna be causing, you know, it can really cause you to have, not get full knee extension, okay? Which can be a real big problem later on, okay? So what you wanna do is just find that same dumbbell or stool or whatever you're using, and then just go ahead and put the ball of your foot on the handle or on the elevated portion, and just go ahead and drop down till you feel a nice tension there. Again, I'm almost at the bottom of the floor. I can feel it just about to be at the floor. Sometimes I touch it and sometimes I don't. Hold it there 15 seconds or so. Then you'll come off, kind of shake it out, relax for a second, okay? Then you'll go up for the contraction portion, okay? Hold that for about 10 seconds. Then you'll relax, then take a deep breath. Exhale as you go down, and now I'm easily touching the floor. My heel has dropped, so that just proves to you, again, I could have probably touched it before, but now it's just all the way down to the floor. And why this works so well is because it allows you, your Golgi tendon organ, to basically, you're manipulating that and allowing it to, you're overriding it and saying, hey, look, it's okay to let me stretch further. And not only is this PNF stretching really good for range of motion, but it's also good to increase your strength through that range of motion so you have athletic ability. So this is really good for you guys who are into running, sports, bodybuilding like me. It's super important to be able to do PNF stretching, okay? All right guys, so time for the front of the shin bone, the tibialis anterior. Basically what I do is just go ahead and kind of act like a broom. You're just gonna push your toes flat, you know, down to the ground and just kind of let it stretch, okay? Push down there. You'll feel a stretch in the front of your shin. If you don't feel a stretch there, it's not a big deal because again, this muscle doesn't get too tight if you're not, you know, having lengthening done right now, but you still should stretch it out. So again, just kind of push down against the floor, okay? Do that on both sides, obviously. All right guys, so that's all I have for you today. I hope you found it useful and found out which stretches you can do if you're getting femur lengthening or if you're getting tibia lengthening, because it's super important that you keep those muscles limber and loose so you can get your full height without any complications. All right, so if you found it helpful, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any videos. And until next time, Victor from Cyborg for Life, signing out.